Welcome to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Building Supply. I'm your host, Don Magruder. If you like today's show, go to aroundthehouse.tv, where you can sign up for our YouTube channel and our weekly newsletter. In this segment of Around the House, Bud Dorman, he's the CEO of White Aluminum, is joining us to discuss how you can plan your outside space. From pool enclosures, bird cages, to lanais, there's an art in planning the space that will work for you. Having the right plans engineered is very important. So we're going to have a fantastic discussion. So with that, I'd like to introduce Bud Dorman. He's the CEO of White Aluminum. Good afternoon, Bud. How are you doing today?
Good, Don. Good. Glad to be here, Don.
We are glad you are here. First off, tell us about Bud Dorman and White Aluminum.
Well, Don, I wanted to move to a warm climate some 45 years ago, and so I did. I came to Florida, and I've now worked for White Aluminum for 40 years. In those 40 years, hopefully I've learned a little bit about how that business operates, and look forward to letting everybody know how we can decorate their outdoor space.
One thing about White Aluminum, you guys are an institution here in Leesburg, and really the state of Florida. You've been in business since 1955,
That's correct.
So that's a long time. Talk about where your location is and what areas of the state you cover.
Well, we cover about a 15-county area, surround the DMA, around every given location. Our corporate headquarters and main store, and the first store to open was our Leesburg store on 441. 2101 East Main Street is the old address. It's now called 441, but it used to be Main Street. We're part of Leesburg, and so my other stores are Haines City. We did that. I think we started that in the late 70s. We have a store at Fort Myers that came on board in the 80s. Our recent acquisitions about 5-7 years ago was Jensen Beach Aluminum, which is located near Stuart, Florida. We have another store in Palm City, which is about 30 minutes north of West Palm. And then we have Sarasota. So we can do just about any project anywhere. I mean, I've done jobs, and in fact, I just finished a restoration job on storm damage from Hurricane Michael up in the Panhandle.
You know, it's amazing with all these locations, especially on the coast, there's no project you probably can't handle.
Well, we look at them, and if it makes a lot of sense to us and it's something we're really good at doing, like that job up there that's, 5-hour drive, you want to make sure you send your best guys, engineer the job properly, have all the material you need the first time, and execute. I told them, I said, you're going to be so happy you hired us, but we're going to do a great job for you. It was for the Catholic Church, so we did a huge sunroom for them.
But if someone had a question about today's show, what's a good number they can reach you at?
Well, you can always call, depending on where you are. Obviously, you can always go to our website, www.whitealuminum.com, and it has all our locations listed and all the telephone numbers.
Okay.
You can also call, if you're from this surrounding area, you call Leesburg store at 787-6783. And I noticed you said in one of the things you had, do you do free estimates? We don't do estimates, Don. We do consultations.
Good.
All right.
Well, let's talk about some terminology.
Okay.
Tell us what's the difference between a bird cage and a pool enclosure.
Well, a lot of people ask that, and sometimes I don't know that there's really any difference in the engineering. Really, the difference is the bird cage is just an enclosure without a pool.
Oh, okay. So a bird cage has no pool.
It has no pool, that's right. Now, you might have a spa in there, but still a bird cage.
What about screen lanai and enclosed lanai?
Okay, well, a screen lanai is usually looked at as under your existing roof, and it can protrude from the house or just have a one wall across it. And we put screen in that, and that's a screen lanai. If you want it enclosed, then you have some options there. The old days, and we don't do many anymore, it was vinyl windows with actual vinyl in the inside of it.
Okay.
Where you see now we have vinyl framed windows now, and you either put glass or even acrylics to enclose your lanai.
Do you do a lot of screen rooms still?
We do our screen rooms. We did a little study here not too long ago to find out what the public thinks the main thing we do, and it was screen rooms.
Okay.
Okay, and we still do a lot of them. Sunrooms is another big thing that we do a lot of.
And you do patio covers and roof overs also?
Absolutely.
What's the hottest trends in Lake and Sumter County now?
Well, coming, and a lot of the stuff like the panoramic view cages, where you have these big openings in the front where you're used to looking at uprights every 6 or 7 feet. Now you can do openings 20, 25 feet without any obstruction. So if you've got a lake or a scene that you want to look at, you can put this panoramic view cage in and be able to see it. And the screens are really changed the view ability too.
And the other thing, Bud, is all this is engineered. A lot of people think that screen rooms and bird cages do not need to be permitted or engineered, and a lot of people are being sold stuff that's firstly illegal. They talk a little bit about the permitting and the engineering requirements.
15 years ago, you had a master file.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they've taken that away, so everything's site specific. So for every job that we do, Don, we do a drawing, a home pro drawing, and we put that with the legal information. First, we take it to our engineer, who reviews the details, makes sure we've engineered properly, then stamps it. Then we take that with the legal permission, go down to the permit place to pull a permit. We do all our jobs according to the code that's required. Every wind zone in the state affects how you build each enclosure. You have to have that skill and knowledge to understand that so that you can engineer your jobs properly.
Bud, what's the telltale signs of a good job when it comes to aluminum structures?
Well, it's interesting, Don. Obviously, it's a lot to do with conventional. Is it square? Is it plumb? Is everything level? Even if the concrete's out, I still want my chair rail to run exactly the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
We shoot it with a transit, and it's exactly level the whole way. So you want to make sure that you always clean up your job. I've had customers, the key is the last 10%. You finish your quality of your job by trim caulking it professionally, and always make sure before you go home every day you clean your site up.
Well, Bud, we're about to head to the Romac Building Supply Show and Tell desk. He's got some neat things to show us as far as the structures and screens that I think you're going to find absolutely wonderful. Be sure to stay tuned if you want to learn about screens. See you in a moment. Welcome back to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Building Supply. I'm at the Romac Building Supply Show and Tell desk with Bud Dorman. He's the CEO of White Aluminum. And, Bud, we got some things to show, but the first thing we're going to show is a piece of paper.
Yes, sir.
What's this, Bud?
Well, this is something we're required to do for every job that we do. Now, this particular job, and I know the detail doesn't matter, but it is called site-specific engineering. My people draw it up themselves, so it is an actual schematic of what the cage is going to look like and what components you need for the cage. It then goes to my engineer, and he stamps it. And so I need that to be able to pull a permit. So we do this for every job that we do.
So I guess the first tip, if someone's wanting to do a pool, cage, lanai, whatever, and they don't have a plan and something like this, then chances are they're not permitting properly.
That's exactly correct.
Bud, what's this?
Well, this is called a 2x4 SMB. What I've done, Don, is brought the smallest SMB and the largest.
So this is beams.
Those are self-mating beams.
Wow.
They're locked together, and they have a spline groove where I roll my screen in, and the size of them is determined by how far I'm spanning and what wind zone that I'm in.
How far can a big beam like this span?
Well, it depends what centers you put it on.
Yeah.
But a beam like that would probably be able to span about 44 feet right today.
So you could run 44-foot cage with this beam.
That's correct, sir.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Now, this beam, being smaller, can get you about 10 or 12 feet. Okay, so that'll kind of tell you the scale that you can do when there's 5s, 6, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Wow.
That takes you all the way up to whatever size that you're going to be able to do.
And that goes back to engineering and getting the right beam.
That's right.
What is this, Bud?
Well, this is a composite roof. If somebody's looking to get a solid roof in their enclosure, then you can mount this off. You put an extruded header, you insert this, and it is a 3-inch panel that has foam in it. And when we do even room additions, this foam itself can get up to 8 inches thick. So with single assemblies, you can do an R30, and this 8-inch panel will be just as good as a truss rafter roof.
So you've got a roof that protects you against water and the heat. And plus the gutter will go on outside.
That's exactly right. That's a fan beam in it, so you can put your fans in it and all that other stuff.
Wow.
So it works really good, and you can walk on it and clean it yourself, Don.
Now, I want you to show us the difference in these screens, because not all screens are alike, and I know you got a few, and we got a short amount of time, but
Yeah.
go through these screens.
Well, this first panel right here is 1814 charcoal screen. It's manufactured by either Pfeiffer or New York Wire, and it is the predominant use in enclosures. But really, it's because a lot of people don't put a lot of thought into what kind of screen. So there's multiple options. This particular panel is called Super Screen. On their website, the people who manufacture this show 8 80-pound bags of concrete in a roof panel, and the roof panel sags, but it doesn't give in.
That's 640 pounds.
It's unbelievable how strong this particular screen is.
Wow.
And people, it's as good as the pet screen. Dogs can't get through it. Cats can't get through it. Nothing can tear it. It lasts. It's got a 10-year guarantee.
Now, see, this is pet screen.
That is pet screen, and it came along before the Super Screen did, Don.
So if you've got a dog or a cat, you probably need that, especially at the lower panels.
Absolutely. We constantly get calls to come out and rescreen some panels. And I just say, if you're going to build an enclosure now, why not use the best screen?
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Now, what's the next screen?
So you've got, this is charcoal sunscreen, okay? Then you have white sunscreen, but it also comes in multiple colors.
And this will protect you if you're sensitive to the sun.
Well, one thing you got to be careful about, Don, is when you get the tighter mesh screen that keeps out the no-see-ums and the mosquitoes and all the bugs you don't want to come in there and bother you, it also cuts down on the breeze. So you got to be careful. A lot of times I'll tell them, if you want to do the roof or do the walls, I wouldn't do the entire enclosure out of sunscreen because you don't get a lot of wind that way.
But for those people with dermatology issues.
Oh, absolutely.
And then what's the final screen we have here?
This is again, a screen that everybody uses. The other one was 1814. This is 2020, which means it's a tighter mesh, won't let no-see-ums and mosquitoes in.
So I understand that a lot of people make mistakes in planning their outside space by simply not picking the right screen.
That's right.
And also picking the right spline.
Well, all the old extrusion that we used to have only would take round spline.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's flat spline, and you're going to have less incidences of your screen coming out because the extrusion's got a little groove in it there that enables the screen to really hold very well. So it's been a change in the industry that came, many years ago, but everybody needs to know that.
Well, Bud Dorman, thank you for showing us all this great stuff, the great tips. One more time, if someone wants to find out more or get a quote or more information on these outside solutions, what's a good number to call?
There's several things you can do, but you can call 352-787-6783 or go to our website at www.whitealuminum.com, and we have a chat dot there that you can engage with and ask us questions, and we'll get answers to you right away.
Thank you for watching Around the House, and go to aroundthehouse.tv where you can sign up for our YouTube channel and our weekly newsletter. Until next time, we will see you around the house.